Everything you needed to ace English language art in one big fat notebook. English language art. Chapter 15 Textual Analysis and Evidence. What's textual analysis and evidence? Textual analysis is studying the evidence in a text to understand its meaning. Textual evidence is information in the text and back up your analysis. Evidence, fact, or information that provide something. Analysis, a close examination of the part or structure of something, usually as a basis for understanding, discussing, and interpreting it. There are two kinds of textual evidence, explicit and implicit. Explicit evidence is proof plainly stated in the text, comes right out and says it. For instance, if your dad is upset because you didn't clean your room, he might tell you, "I'm annoyed that you didn't clean your room. I'm getting pretty tired of asking you to do it." Implicit evidence is evidence that's only implied by what's stated in the text. You have to figure out what the author is suggesting from the text. For example, if you come home and your dad is frowning and storming around the living room, you might guess that dad seems mad about something. That's implicit evidence that you could infer from. Example, in our neighborhood, Alice Rose Moore, the Harts were going to give a party. Neither Mrs. Hart nor the Mrs. Hart nor the small and busy Hart, who amused themselves in the neighborhood by continually falling in the gutter on special occasion, had mentioned this fact to anyone, but all the interested denizens of that particular square could tell by the unusual air of bustle and activity which pervaded the Hart domicile. Evidence and reason are closely related, but they are not the same. Evidence answers the question, "What makes you think that?" Reason answers the question, "Why is that important?" The author doesn't include any discussion by the Hart family where they say, "You are having a party." So there is no explicit evidence of a party. However, you also write that the neighbors are guessing there will be a party based on implicit evidence. They see the Hart preparing their house for a party. When you make a suggest based on implicit or explicit evidence, you are drawing on inference. Inference, a conclusion we draw based on evidence and reason. Example, in Don Quixote, Miguel Cervantes describes an old man who had read many adventure stories and decided to set out on an adventure of his own. In short, his wits being quite gone, and hit upon the strangest notion that ever madman in this world hit up. And that was that he fancied it was right and requested, as well for the support of his own honor as for the service of his country, and he should make a knight errant of himself, roaming the world over full armor and on horseback in quest of adventures, the putting a fat practice himself all that he had read of as being as the usual practice of knight errant. Implicit evidence. Writing every kind of wrong and exposing himself to peril and danger from which, in the issue, he was to live internal renown and pain. Only the poor man saw himself crowned by the might of his arm, Emperor of Trebizond, at least, and so led away by the intense enjoyment he found in this pleasant fancy, he set himself forthwith to put his scheme into execution. The first thing he did was to clean up some armor that had belonged to his great-grandfather and had been for ages lying forgotten in a corner eaten with rust and covered in mildew. He scowled and polished it as best he could, but he perceived one great defect in it, that it had no closed helmet, nothing but a simple module. This deficiency, however, he ingenuity supplied, for he contributed a kind of half-helmet of pasteboard which, fitted onto the morion, looked like a whole one. It's true that, in order to see if it was strong and fit to stand a cut, he drew his sword and gave a couple of slashes, the first of which he undid in an instant, but had taken him a week to do. The witch with which he had knocked it to pieces disconcerted him somewhat, and to guard against the danger, he set to work again, fixing part of iron on the inside until he was satisfied with its strength, and then, not caring to try any more experiment with it, he passed it and adopted it as a helmet of the most perfect construction. To paraphrase, the main character decides to become a knight-errant, or a medieval knight who searches for adventure. He imagines himself rewarded by kings for his deed. To that end, he picks up some old armor, but his repaired helmet doesn't stand up to a test. He adds iron to the helmet, but he does not test it again. After reading this paragraph, you may draw the inference that Don Quixote is not qualified to be a knight-errant. Some explicit evidence might be that he does not have the proper equipment. Some implicit evidence might be that he only knows what it's like to be a knight-errant from reading stories. The author suggests that Don Quixote doesn't have the real-life training he needs. He may also point to the implicit evidence that he determined his makeshift helmet the most perfect construction. Even though he has not tested, the writer is implying that Don Quixote is perhaps not smart or shrewd enough or not sane enough to become a knight-errant. Have you the best evidence? Most texts are full of evidence. It's easy to pull out one piece or more, but it's usually more useful to focus on the best evidence. When you are looking for the best evidence to support a deduction, ask yourself, would everybody agree that this evidence leads to my conclusion? Like this. Example, you want to prove that Don Quixote is not in his right mind. There are lots of pieces of evidence for this in the text. Don Quixote imagined that he should become a knight. He imagined king will reward him. He imagined that he can use his grandfather's old armor on his adventure. He believed he can repair rusted and midway armor with pasteboard. He does not test the armor after he fixed it the second time. However, you should choose the very best one. Which piece of evidence would everyone agree leads to the conclusion that Don Quixote is not in his right mind. Don Quixote imagined become a knight. Thus, he believed he can repair rusted and midway armor with pasteboard. It's not so strange for Don Quixote to imagine become a knight. After all, most of us dream at some point that we might become a basketball star, a famous singer, or even a president. But most of us know that we can't repair medieval armor with pasteboard. Not knowing that makes Don Quixote seem out of touch with reality. It's the best evidence. He does not test the armor after he picks it a second time, but says he imagined King will reward him. Again, it's not too strange to hope that we might receive praise from powerful people, even if it's unlikely that we will. But not to test the armor after your repair is dangerous. It could even be a matter of life and death. And Don Quixote doesn't test his armor. We know he's not in his right mind. It's the best evidence. If we want to show someone is not in his right mind, we choose evidence that everyone can agree shows him being out of touch with reality.